Everybody. We're going to be doing something a little bit differently today. Let me show my glasses for this occasion. These are better. That's better. Now, for such an occasion, today we'll be doing tending my beautiful indoor garden. We have our plants, and we have already have some indoor plants growing already. Those are the sunflowers. And we got some plants growing back there too. I'll show you later, but not now. We're attend to these. We got the labels for the plants. We got flowering pots around here. Water. Plant food in that water bottle right there. And we got the seeds. We got the basil, carrots, radish, marigolds, perennial mix, Shasta daisy, beets, and even pumpkin. Yay! Let's see for any people can wash. I prepare the soil. I'm gonna watch see how to grow some plants. And chili, we're not gonna grow all your plants at once. We're not having enough pots. Now I need pots on the platform to grow big enough. I start with the carrots. Oh, why not go liking music while we do this? Don't worry, the camera not on you. start with the carrots. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, one for the passion fruit. Let me go pick it up. And one for the corn. I will leave this for the passion fruit. And I will leave this for the corn. What? I mean carrots. You start with carrots on that.
What if you could get rid of your kitchen garbage at the push of a button? Hey, I'm Matt from Pila, and I want to introduce you to my friend Lomi. At Pila, we're a team of engineers and material scientists. We believe that waste can be designed out of your daily life. For the last 3 years, we've been creating something truly special, a solution to the world's garbage problem. Now, before I show you how Lomi is going to change the world, let's talk about why you're going to want one in your home. Maybe you live in a big city and have a green bin program. You know, those pesky little plastic bins with leaky bags under your sink that are amazing at producing that smelly, gross-looking sludge. Raccoons, anybody? Or maybe you don't have a green bin system where you live. Instead, you throw all your food waste into the garbage, which then goes to landfill, which produces methane, which causes climate change, all while still smelling pretty terrible. Lomi makes your life so much easier. Lomi can compost your food waste, that pesky packaging from your online shopping, even compostable plastics, all at the push of a button. You probably know us as the inventors of the world's first compostable phone case. You may have even seen our Lomi campaign on Indiegogo, where we sold more than 20,000 units, raised $7 million, and became the most successful crowdfunding campaign of 2021. Pila customers have eliminated more than 41.8 million plastic bags from the garbage in the last 4 years. Those 20,000 Lomis I was talking about, they're going to have even more benefit, preventing 1 million pounds of coal from being burned. We're just getting started. We want to get a Lomi in every home and prevent more than 1 billion pounds of waste from going to landfill. To create Lomi, we've spent more than 3 years completing 1,000 compost tests, probably more, and endless hours of product design and prototyping. Lomi isn't just beautifully designed. We've created something never seen before. An elegant home appliance that takes care of your garbage so you don't have to, giving you back time to do things you actually enjoy. Food waste creates 300 billion pounds of garbage in North America every year. Packaging and plastic, add that on top, which makes the number even higher. Lomi makes home food waste a thing of the past and cuts your carbon footprint up to half, all while making odor-neutralized, mess-free dirt that you can feed your plants, toss in your garden, throw in your green bin, in a cavity, throw in your garbage. Together, we can do something that politicians and big businesses can't seem to take any action on, actually helping the planet. You can make trash a thing of the past. Click below to reserve your Lomi now and join the movement.
Sorry, wait.
Get ready for spring with these easy-to-make meals from the Helpful Chef, like these tender grilled pork chops with sweet potato salad, or this flavor.
Hello everyone, this is Jack. In this video, I'm covering everything you need to know on how to grow carrots from seed to harvest. So let's get started. Carrots are root vegetables and require loose soil so that they do not have any resistance growing into the soil. You can also use worms to grow carrots by digging up the soil. I prefer to grow my carrots in raised bed with lots of compost. I made a video on how you can make your own hard compost. Check the video, and if you're interested, I'll leave a link to the video in the description. Since I use a lot of compost, I do not have to add any more fertilizer to grow carrots. I got some carrot seeds here. Carrot seeds are very small, so be careful about planting the seeds. It is very easy to plant a lot of these seeds in a very small space. Run trowel through the dirt to create rows. Plant seeds about ½ inch deep and 1 inch apart. Row spacing should be 12 inches or 1 foot apart. Cover the seeds after planting. Carrots are slow to germinate and take about 2 to 3 weeks to germinate. After 4 weeks, the carrot plants are easily visible. After 6 weeks, the carrot plants are about 4 to 6 inches tall. After 2 months, the carrot plants fill in and are about 12 inches or a foot tall. Carrots are a cool weather crop. Plant carrots in fall or autumn, or in spring 2 weeks before the last frost. Water regularly and keep the soil moist so that carrots continue to grow deeper in the soil. In California, it's been raining often for past 3 months, so I did not have to water by fall. In today's project diary, I will teach you how to grow carrots from seed. Hi, welcome to Project Diaries. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to grow carrots from seed in containers. Now, there are so many myths and fake information and blatant lies on the internet about growing, and the main one that I keep seeing is regrowing carrots from carrot tops. Now, while this is a really good project to do with children and get them into gardening, all it will do is grow the greenery on the top. You won't actually get another carrot. There are some other things that you can't regrow, but there's just an abundance of really fake information about regrowing stuff. But you can regrow potatoes and you can regrow garlic. So I've already done those videos.
Play all the rings, man.
But today I'm going to grow carrots, and here's how to do it. So just as a quick side tip, if you are interested in growing carrot tops with kids, all you need to do is just get around 1 inch or 2 from the carrot's top and place it in a bowl of water or quite a deep saucer. As you can see from the example on the right, after a month or so, the greens will start to grow, and these are edible, but you won't actually get a full carrot from doing this. In very rare cases, after a few months, these greens may actually bolt and go into a flower stage where you might be able to harvest some seeds. I will show you how to harvest seeds from flowers later on in the video, but right now you may need to get some seeds online. Now, there are so many different varieties of carrots ranging in different sizes, many different colours, and lots of different shapes. So if you do want to get some seeds online, I will leave some of my favourite varieties in the description box below. Now, carrots are an extremely popular root vegetable, but they can be a little bit tricky to grow. But hopefully with this video, it'll give you a lot clearer idea and a lot higher success rate. So first up, you're going to need a container. Now, I suggest a container that's no less than 10 inches deep. The carrots are going to need to grow quite tall, depending on the variety again. So what I need to do is first off drill some holes in this and then fill it with compost. Now, carrots need really good drainage, so I'm going to use the biggest drill bit that I've got and drill lots of holes in this bucket. Also, check what plastic your bucket is made from. If this is a 5 and labelled PP, that's polypropylene and the safest plastic that you can use. You want to avoid any plastics that have the numbers 3, 6 or 7, including polystyrene. These can leach really harmful chemicals into the soil, which will then transfer into your vegetables. Once you've found an appropriate bucket to grow your carrots in, you want to drill some drainage holes all across the base. Try to do as many as you can, but space them out accordingly. You don't want to do too many in order for it to weaken the buckets and food waste. So get some from the store. Now, unfortunately, I got the cheapest one from the supermarket, and it's got loads of barcode bits in it. I'm just going to do that now. Now, I love my soil scoop that I've made from a recycled milk bottle. If you don't know how to make this, the link should be on the screen now. But for today's project, I'm going to use quite a lot of waste of seeds, so I'm just going to do it this way. Now, the earliest time to sow carrot seeds is between 3 and 5 weeks before your last frost date. Now, the English spring weather last year was all over the place, so it may be a good idea to grow these in a more sheltered spot, but make sure they get at least 6 hours of sunlight a day. Now, another good way to grow carrots is to use 50% sand and 50% sieved compost. That will give you an extremely light soil to grow carrots in, but you will need more fertiliser doing it this way. Once these carrot seedlings start to emerge from the soil, you want to give them a fertiliser around once a week. Once you finish sowing all of the seeds, you want to lightly scatter the rest of the soil into the bucket, but make sure you leave around 1 inch gap at the top. Again, lightly spread the soil around the top, but don't pack it down in any way. Packing the soil down will stop the delicate seedlings from pushing through and lower your success rate. When your happy it's really level, you want to give these seedlings a really good soaking. Now lots of people still keep asking me what this green water is. It's actually just rainwater, but the algae from over the winter has basically grown and it's turned it green. I will be doing a whole series of videos this year on how to make homemade fertilizers, so don't forget to subscribe. But here's a link on the screen to ones that I've already created so far. So when you water these, you really want to do it deeply, as you can see that I'm doing here. When the weather starts warming up throughout the spring, the top layer might start drying out between the first 2 or 3 inches, so it's a really good idea to water deeply. You may only need to water once a week, but keep your eyes on moisture levels. Due to sowing the seeds in colder weather, they will take a bit longer to germinate. So here they are between 3 and 4 weeks later.
I'll play my seeds into putting the miracles in here, but
6 weeks.
like frankly, to me, I need a big container, so.
Around 8 weeks, you can see a huge change and a lot faster growth. And here they are again at 9 weeks. Now another great thing about growing carrots in containers is the fact that the height will actually stop carrot flow. Growing carrots in the ground can allow them to be attacked by many pests, but I will cover those again later on in the video.
Bye.
So these haven't had the best growing season at all, mainly because this is supposed to be English summer and it's been raining and really windy. And last night we even had an electrical storm. But basically, depending on what variety you've got, these will take between sort of 70 and 80 days to mature. I've let these go into a flower stage. You can get the seeds from these once they've reached this maturity. But I'm going to give you a close-up now.
As you can see, the storm has really damaged these, but they have actually managed to bolt, which means they're going to flower and turn into seeds. Now, carrots don't produce the prettiest flower, but these buds will then soon mature into something like this, and the final flower stage will look something like this. After a few weeks, this flower will then start dying back, and the petals will start curling into itself, a bit like this. After another few weeks, this flower will then completely die back and produce little seed pods. Allow these seeds to mature and dry out over another few weeks, and then you can harvest the seeds. Now, as I said before, carrots are prone to carrot flies. They're also prone to wireworms and flea beetles. But one of the worst attacks I've had this year are from root aphids. These attack your carrots from the ground up, and left over time they can cause significant damage. A good way to spot if you have root aphids is look out for the amount of ants that seem to be around your carrots. Ants farm aphids for food and will protect them from lots of other predators. Once your carrots are weakened by these pests, it can then open them up to diseases like Aster yellow disease. This disease can overwinter and attack next year's crop, and it will also cause your carrots to grow shorter, discoloured, and produce hairy roots. There are many ways to prevent these pests from spreading, but one of the best ways is try to get beneficial insects into your garden. Here is my video on just how to do that. Now, the wind from the storm has disrupted quite a lot of the soil around these carrots, but just before they're ready to harvest, they should start protruding out of the soil. Once you see the top of the carrots, you can see exactly how big it's going to be, and once it starts pushing out of the soil a few centimetres, it's easy to pull them out. Just try to get down as low as the green part and try to pinch the top of the carrot and give it a gentle twist. Hopefully at this final stage your soil should still be light and fluffy and it will pull out quite easily. Even with virtually no summer and lots of bad weather this year, I've still managed to get quite a nice harvest and I still have a few more to pull out yet. There's absolutely no problem you leaving carrots in the ground a little bit longer than you need to. But if you have harvested more than you need, the best way to store these is to take off the tops, clean them thoroughly with cold water, and then place them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the fridge. If you don't do this, your carrots may go soft and limp within a few hours. I thought I'd come into the shed to finish off because it's getting a bit too wet out there. But if it is rainy where you are, just think it saves you the hard work of watering the garden, and you've just got to stay positive. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video on how to grow carrots from seed, and I'll see you again next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. If you'd like to keep up to date on all my future releases, click the subscribe button here. Here are some links to some of my other videos. And if you enjoyed this or any other project, I'd love to see your progress, so please join my Facebook gardening group with thousands of people sharing photos and ideas daily.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Yes, you do. Confused. Huh? Wait, Mom. Wait. No way. Oh, that's how to label it. Cheesy. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here it is. Now for the next plant. Pumpkin.
Embrace the chaos.
Oh wow! Alright, so 2 seeds in this pot. One and 2 pumpkin seeds. Oh my can't wait to show me and get it. So let's try the deep. We have to do some shopping for more science supplies so when summer comes around. That's everything. Oh, you can.
The days of yard work are long gone. And there's
Let's try in here. I cannot wait for that to happen. Okay then.
Today I'm joining you from the kitchen with a bunch of seedlings that I started a couple of weeks ago. So we're about 6 weeks away from our last frost date, which is about May 10th this year. 2 weeks ago I started some peppers and some tomatoes. Today I'm going to start a great companion plant for tomatoes, which not only tastes great together, but also can help each other grow, which is basil. So basil grows nice and close to the ground, helps to retain soil moisture while those tomatoes are growing nice and tall, and it can also help to repel pests and insects. One of the tomatoes that I've started is this cherry tomato. And if you look at the seed pack, it says high yield right there. So because I'm working with an urban garden, I'm trying to get lots of fruit in a small amount of space. Words like compact, high yield are really good ones to look for when you're picking your seed. These may not be available to you, these types of trays, but these could be from fruit from the supermarket. So what I've done is I've put some pre-moistened soil into this old raspberry container. This one here. This is seedling starting soil, so it's pretty flush. And it's really important to read the back of our seed packs when we're starting seeds, to give you specific instructions of what the seeds actually like, how long they're going to take to germinate, etc. And these basil seeds want to be planted at about a 1/4 inch depth. So I've marked that off on this stake, and I'm going to draw those lines across the soil at that depth. And it's really important to read the back of our seed packs when we're starting seeds, to give you those specific instructions of what the seeds actually like, how long they're going to also keep it a little bit cooler in the house to save energy. But you'll see that about half of those seeds we started have actually come up and emerged out of the soil. Now the leaves that we're seeing now, these are the seed leaves of this plant. So these are the first leaves to emerge of your plant actually growing.
It's winter, we all need basil for our pizza. In this video, I'm going to show you how I grow this plant.
Volcano gonna shred up game changers for me. I'm gonna tell you why. When it comes to getting meat, and even more importantly, keeping that weight off, Volcano gonna shred are bar none the most effective products on the market. While Volcano helps your body free up fatty acids and boost your metabolism.
Just to make sure that we get a thick, lush bush. And that way you will get more basil faster in the growing. So when we tap down the soil, we just make sure that everything is even and it's easier for the seeds to sprout evenly. I'm just gonna grab a bag of basil seeds that I have lying around. I have so many seeds. Let's just start with this and see how far we can take it. Just want to make sure that we get everywhere. And you might say, well, this really isn't the method for for planting the seeds, because every single seed is going to be a plant, and that's true. But the thing is that you will use the basil as it grows, and sometimes it's just easier to have too many and just thin them out when you go along. And that way you can make sure that everything is nice all the way through, and you can harvest anytime. Last step is to just gently put some soil on top. And I'm using very little soil on top. And the reason for that is when you're planting so dense, the seeds have a tendency to clump together, and they just lift the whole soil. And that's a bad thing, because so many of the seedlings are going to die from that, because many of them just will be exposed to the light and the air too much, and that's not good for it. So what I'm doing is just gently spraying my soil on top like this, and as you can see, it's just a thin layer, and that's all there is to it. Last thing to do is to just water. I didn't mention, but the thing is that when you're, especially when you're growing in a large pot like this, basil seeds will need water, but the thing is that this container contains too much soil for the seeds in the beginning, so just make sure that you start with soil that is a little bit on the dry side. That's what I did now, and that way when you water now, the top part will be watered, and as the seeds start to grow and the plants demand more water, it's easier to just backfill with water and make sure that the whole thing gets watered and not stay stagnant with too much water from the beginning. That's all there is to it. If you want to cover it, to do is to just water. They put some soil on top, and I'm using very little soil on top. And the reason for that is when you're planting so dense, the seeds have a tendency to clump together, and they just lift the whole soil. And that's a bad thing, because so many of the seedlings are going to die from that, because many of them just will be exposed to the light and the air too much, and that's not good for it. So what I'm doing is just gently spraying my soil on top like this, and as you can see, it's just a thin layer, and that's all there is to it. Last thing to do is to just water. I didn't mention, but the thing is that when you're, especially when you're growing in a large pot like this, basil seeds will need water, but the thing is that this container contains too much soil for the seeds in the beginning, so just make sure that you start with soil that is a little bit on the dry side. That's what I did now, and that way when you water now, the top part will be watered, and as the seeds start to grow and the plants demand more water, it's easier to just backfill with water and make sure that the whole thing gets watered and not stay stagnant with too much water from the beginning. That's all there is to it. If you want to cover this with some plastic, that's just fine. Just make sure that you avoid mold. If it starts to mold, just remove the film and try to keep some aeration going. I'm not going to cover this because I'm just going to make sure that it stays moist on top, and that's really easy when you're growing in a large container like this. So the easiest way to avoid fungus is just keep it open, and also place this pot until it germinates, at least in some place where it's a little bit warm. Okay, the next step is probably going to be sprouting, so I'll see you then. Seeds sprouted on day 7. This is day 9, and you can see it has had a couple of days to green up, and it's really important that you keep the grow light on from this stage. And I would of course suggest that you put the grow light on the exact day that it leaks through the soil. That's important because you don't want tall leggy plants growing there, and it really required the lighting, especially if you have a warm room. After about 2 weeks, the canopy was really dense, and it was like touching rock when you touched it, and it just looked phenomenally. At this stage, you could of course harvest the whole thing as a microgreen, but that's not what we're here for. But
after what he did, things are how they should be. It's everybody. There's nobody. He's all the time.
Sorry.
First rule of Zip Club, tell everyone about unlimited Zip Club. Join now and zip free through July 4th, only at Panera.
Hey guys, welcome to Gardening Upbeat, and I hope you are doing really very well. This video is all about how to grow the Dimorphotica or African daisy from the seeds. I am going to start the video with sowing the seeds, and finally at the end of the video you are going to see lots of flowers. So let's start the video now. Dimorphotica is really a great winter flowering plant, and you can start sowing the seeds from around October end. Before sowing the seeds, please soak the seeds in plain water at least for 12 hours, and this is the same thing I did. To sow the seeds, I am taking the soil mix something like this: 80% coco peat and 20% vermicompost. I am also using a seedling tray, as you can see here, and you can use any pot, but please make sure that there is at least one drainage hole.
Alright, till wait. I'm just gonna do it.
Sprinkling some water before sowing the seeds, and next we can sow the seeds. Next, cover the seeds with the same soil mix, and please make sure that seeds are at least 3 to 5 mm deep inside the soil. Next, going to keep the seedling tray in a place where it's going to get the morning sunlight till around 10 to 11 am. So guys, our seedlings are ready to be transplanted, as you can see, and we can transplant any seedlings as soon as we see first 2 to 3 true leaves on our seedlings. I'm also really very glad that I got really very good germination.
It's that way to flip out.
To transplant the seedlings, I am going to use 6 inch of pot, and you can use one pot to grow one plant. But here you can see I have lots of seedlings, plus I have space issues as well, and that's why I would be transplanting 2 seedlings in one pot. Dimorphotica is actually a somewhat hardy plant, and they grow in any soil. However, for better result, you can take the soil very basic way. That means 50% normal garden soil, 25% is either vermicompost or compost cow dung powder, and rest 25% is coco peat. I am done with transplanting, as you can see, and just after transplanting you can water slightly, but I am not going to water it because you can see that soil is looking somewhat wet. Next, I am going to keep the pot on terrace, and there it's going to get the direct sunlight for the whole day. However, just after transplanting, please keep the pot in bright area for next few days, let's say 2 to 3 days, and then only keep your pot under direct sunlight. I am going to provide them whole day of sunlight from tomorrow onwards, as they were already getting the sunlight till around 11 am. Here you can see my plants are looking really very bad. The stems are not looking that strong, and that's why they are leaning over. So I need to do something, and what I am going to do is I am going to bury them.
Some types of flowers are so easy to grow from seed. Other types, not so much. So let's look at 8 of the easiest types of flower to grow from seed so you can have some success in your flower garden this year. Number 1, cosmos. These lovely little flowers look like cherry, tall, ethereal daisies. They come mainly in pinks and whites, and a whole Click the thumbs up button and be sure to leave a comment below telling me which kinds of flowers you'd like to grow from seed this year, or which flowers you've tried before and had good or bad experiences with. Let us know. It will help us all, and I can't wait to hear what you're growing in your garden this year. See you in the next video.
Hey guys, how's it going? So this morning I'm really excited about the project. I'm going to be planting out some perennials that are right here that I started from seed for me. So I've got the 12 there and 2 there, 14 delphiniums total. And the last thing, other than a few extra foxglove that I had, like I needed a space.
Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. It's late January, and this is a bed that I planted last year. Want to get them all growing really massive root systems, and then press it in about 1/4 of an inch. Let them go. Take the Shasta daisies. You can see how much I put into that little space. And we just want, well, we're not going to put that much in, but you just want a nice big pinch. And let's see, lots of seeds go into there. You don't need to refrigerate your daisy seeds. They'll probably be the first ones to sprout up. Mix them in, 1/4 of an inch, and you just want to get them all covered. And you can see it's a ton of seeds that I put in there. Press it in. Most of them will germinate. If I was doing something in here, same kind of coverage, not as many seeds, but you just want a good coverage over here. That's going to be 8 to 10 daisy seeds. And a big plug of roots is all we want. Don't worry about the leaf growth. Purple coneflower, very similar to the daisies. And when I divide up the daisies, they're bigger seeds. A lot's going in there. These can go down, same thing, 1/4 of an inch. Just make sure they're all covered, spread it out. Let them grow. If you have the room, you can put in like 2 seeds into here and let them just stay in here until they get really large. I like to tear them up. We're going to tear them up in half once, and maybe again, depending on how many come up. They're going to go into a container like this. They don't have to stay under the grow lights. You can start moving them outside when the days are above freezing. Bring them in at night, and you can just set up your tray like this. Just put in a bunch into a container, and you just move this in and out. And then you're not using your grow lights anymore. You can start your other. So I get these started first. And then thyme. Thyme is a really small seed. And we're going to take, that's a pinch. So a lot of seeds into each cell. Some people say leave them on the surface. I found they do perfectly fine just being scratched into the soil surface. And you just scratch them in.
Phil, he's sending a gift before anyone knows he forgot a gift. Yeah, let's add another 0, bud.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop banking. What would you like the power to do?
And let's just say, after we divide them up and break them up here, let's just say, we're paying about $1 a plant. It's going to be about this big, and that's a lot more than the actual cost starting indoors. So it's $29. Rather than paying what we multiply that up to be about $150, all by just starting your seeds indoors.
Yeah, let's put that on the windowsill.
You could use cups like this, which I ran out of, but I usually will go to.
Ew. Oh my god, you're not seeing that. Like, what are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking at? Like, ew. Ew. Hey, no. I'm mess. Nine. Try. Don't try to hurt. Here are the gotcha foods right here, and here's the corn. Hey, really, don't you think? Mario, when you... I think that's enough for this video. Sign off now. Until next time, being on the party. Happy spring!